Ektron lets you create easy-to-read, descriptive, and SEO-friendly URLs with aliases. This video describes the types of URL aliases that you can create. There are several types of aliases that you can use. Use the manual alias to give a block of content its own URL. Use the automatic alias so that when you add content, the new URL follows rules that you set for its type. Use the regular expression alias to create a URL match pattern that can redirect or transform a range of URLs with a single setting. Use the site alias if you want to access the same site with more than one URL. Use the redirect alias when you want to forward a user from an old URL to a new URL. The following slides show each of these types of URL aliases in more detail. You can set a manual alias to give a content block its own name. For example, you can use www.example.com/help.htm to refer to a more complicated URL. Automatic aliasing lets you create rules for several types of CMS entities such as users, groups, or content, so that when you add content to one of these types, it inherits the URL alias rules. An automatic taxonomy alias is based on the path of the taxonomy tree. For example, you can create a jobs alias based on the taxonomy tree called site navigation, company, jobs, with several job distinctions under that. Then you create a new sales administrator position and select the sales and administrator taxonomy categories for the position. The following URLs are generated. An automatic folder alias is based on the folder path, just as an automatic taxonomy alias is based on the taxonomy path. When you place content into a folder that has an automatic folder alias assigned to it, Ektron automatically generates a URL for that content. For example, suppose you assign an automatic folder alias called History to the main site /content/company/company news folder, and you specify the additional rule that excludes some of the folder path from the URL. When you create a new piece of content called new history event.aspx and put it in the company news folder, it has the following URL automatically generated for you. A user alias can simplify a reference to someone's profile page. For example, www.example.com/Steve. And similarly, a group alias can simplify a reference to a group page, such as www.example.com/cars for a discussion board about cars, or www.example.com/cooking for one about cooking. Regular expression aliases, also known as RegEx Aliases, let you create a pattern in your URLs so that your site visitors can deduce and modify the pattern to find more information. For example, you can have a blog post with the regex URL blog/2013/03/14. You can guess from the URL that you could see a blog post from the previous day by typing blog/2013/03/13. Or similarly, if you want to see all of the blog posts in March of 2013, you would type blogs/2013/03, and so on. As another example, you can create a pattern without knowing the URL that the user may type in advance, using a query string variable. When a user types www.example.com/catalog/search/Christmas, the alias can use a query string variable after the catalog/search to see if the content is available in the catalog using the following URL. The site alias lets your customers access the same site content with more than one URL. For example, suppose that your company changed its name from Bionics to NewGen, but the content of your site essentially remains the same. By adding a site alias along with appropriate DNS mappings and domain registration, customers can still get to your site with the bionics.com URL, and now also with the new company URL, newgen.com. A redirect alias maps an old URL to a new URL. For example, suppose you are modifying your site to make your pages more consistent with each other. You want your site visitor to use the new page instead of the older one, So you create a forwarding address with a redirect alias. Using a 301 redirect alias ensures that search engines change their index to use the new URL. There are several types of redirect aliases that you can use. Refer to the Ektron reference to see them all. To learn more about URL aliasing, follow the path on the screen to the Ektron reference, or scan the QR code to view it on your smartphone. If you have feedback about this video, send email to docgroup@ektron.com. Ektron empowers organizations to fully realize their digital marketing potential by connecting content to revenue. Thank you for your time.